everybody. How's everybody doing this afternoon on this, I can't even say, this bright Thursday, given we've got this most horrendous storm again going on today. So hope everybody's keeping safe and you know, the weather is not causing too many problems for you. And actually it's half term week for a lot of people. We don't, you know, for us now with the children kind of grown up, it's not something that we think about as much now, but apart from the fact that the roads are a lot quieter for us in half term week. So I really hope you're having a great week in half term, and if you're doing things with the family, you know, it's a lovely time, isn't it, for you when you've got a bit of time off and you're able to do activities all together. So you know, if anybody's here live, just drop a hey in the comments there, and if you're catching up on replay, as ever, just pop a hashtag replay for you, for me to sort of catch up on you later on. So today I'm going to talk to you about something about life purpose, about, you know, doing things that are aligned with us. It's one of those weird ones, isn't it? Because, you know, for some of us, our purpose and our passion in life is really obvious and it's really clear. You know, we're born with a set of talents or whatever, and when we develop those talents into something that we want to do. You know, we probably all had that friend, didn't we, that, you know, right from primary school knew exactly what they wanted to be when they grew up, type of thing. And actually my children have always had quite a clear focus and a clear purpose. So, you know, my son loves maths and he's now doing accountancy at university, and my daughter was always singing and dancing and playing teachers, and she's now a dance, cheer and musical theatre teacher. So for them, you know, they had a clear focus and clear purpose. But for most people, it's not as easy to identify that. Now, you might be someone that, you know, has lots of different passions and you don't like the idea of sticking to one thing for the rest of your life. You know, I think we sometimes think when we talk about life purpose or, you know, our big why, that we see as something really big, like, you know, being a doctor or doing some, you know, charity work or something. It's something really big and something really meaningful. But it's not about that. And I'm going to talk to you about today, you know, really about being in alignment, doing something that's in alignment with you. So your purpose. It's not just about your finances or your relationships or your job or anything like that. It's about doing something that makes you enjoy life. It's about being aligned. Because, you know, you currently create, you know, 100% all of the time your reality. You know, even if you know, your emotions and your thoughts and your beliefs, they create your world. They create your world 24/7. Whether you believe in all of that stuff or not, that is what's actually happening. But until you actually learn to create consciously, hi Florentina, nice to see you here. You know, until you learn to create consciously, you're creating unconsciously. And when you create unconsciously, you know, you're probably not going to be happy with everything in your world. And so whilst you may not know what your life purpose is, maybe you've not given it much thought to actually actively writing a life purpose, you most definitely will know when you are not working on purpose. You know, perhaps you just don't feel that things are right, that your boundaries are being crossed in some way. Maybe you're in a job that you just absolutely hate and feel like you're going nowhere. You know, maybe you feel lost or that there's something missing in your life. And, you know, you can actually become anxious and stressed. Hi Florentina, that you feel like you're pushing water up a hill, for instance. You know that there's something going on. You know there's something going on, but you can't quite put your finger on it. And, you know, I can always tell when I'm doing something that's completely out of alignment for me, because that's when I do get stressed. I start saying yes to things, and then I regret it almost instantly. You know, I think, why am I doing that? It's not in line with what I'm actually working towards. You know, it's something you don't really want to do, but you say yes out of some kind of, you know, maybe it's fear or something, or whatever it is. But the minute you then say yes to something that is not in line with what you should be doing, your purpose, you get that feeling, don't you? You get that feeling inside, and you just know something's not quite right. You know, and you've got no clue there of what the future holds, or you're not sure you're on the right path if you've not actually set out what it is that you want to do. And you start doing things that are out of this alignment. You can become like a bit of a yo-yo. You know, you're going backwards and forwards. You find that you're being pulled back to something you used to do out of safety and security, when actually you know it's completely out of alignment with what you want to do. So having this kind of purpose or life plan or whatever you want to do, it becomes, you know, however you want to call it, it becomes much easier to focus on what matters to you, and not on what other people are telling you to do, or what they're doing either. You know, you're doing it for you. It allows you to focus on your area of your life that is important to you. You know, you've got that fire and drive. It happened to me yesterday. I cleared the box, and today, yeah, absolutely. I can't see all of that actually. Oh yeah, I can. So it happened to you yesterday. You cleared the blocks, and today you feel aligned. It's such amazing. You share, you know, such a value information with people. It is absolutely life changing. It really is. And a lot of people are not thinking about or doing this. They kind of, you know, move through aimlessly, and it's only when things start maybe not going right. So maybe there's some physical symptoms that suddenly start happening, or you get stressed and anxious, or you know, you've got mental stress, mental issues, and it's because you're then doing things that are just not quite right for you. It takes real courage. It takes grit and determination to live your life on purpose. But when you do, sorry, I've just had a call come through. Can everybody hear me? And then that's when you suddenly start, you know, everything else starts falling into place. You've got a reference point there for moving forward. You'll be able to make more intentional choices for your business, for your career, for your life as you're doing it. And everything else then starts falling into place. It becomes easy and effortless. So it's like I said, it's when you're working against it that you suddenly start feeling those physical and mental symptoms. What about the right order of the areas of your life? It's blocking one another. What do you mean by that, Florentina? Just key that in. You know, is it that, you know, you've got to do things, so plan your finances and your life and your work and things like that? Is that what you mean? Because they're all interlinked. They're all interlinked. You know, for instance, if you are, you know, if one of your purposes, if you like, is having freedom, and yet or spending more time with your family, and yet you find that in your work you're working longer hours, you know, that's your misalignment again there. And that's where those things, because you're pushing against those values and those boundaries, you know, you need to start trusting in yourself, in your inner system. You know, you've got to let it guide you. We've all got this inner sat nav. We've all got that inner sat nav. So you start by putting in where you are right now. So let's just say you start off with your starting destination, where you are right now, and then you put in your end destination. So the sat nav will then plot out the best route for you, where you're heading. And you just have to follow the instructions there. You'll know whether you're on that right journey as it will feel right for you. There may be some bumps along the way, but you've got to know and trust you're heading in the right direction. And like I said, you'll know when you're not on course, or when you're on course or off course, because of how happy you are when you're doing it. For example, I work with women who want to get married, but then the next step for them is career and then marriage. Okay, so there's an exercise that I do there. Actually, there's two things. So we'll do one exercise today that will be really useful for you, Florentina, and I'll do that in a second. The other one to do is really focus on your values. So ask the question, what is really important to you? And keep asking that so that you're digging deeper than that surface level. And if you've ever done the Wheel of Life, it's a great one to seeing your balance. Because usually when you are full out on concentrating on one area, we can take off, our eye off the ball of another area. And that might be sort of what's happening there. So it's not about getting everything in sync. You might not always get that, but it's around what's important in each particular area. And you've got to make sure that your values are aligned there. So what are your values within your career are usually still going to be the same ones that you value in your marriage. And like I said, we'll come on to another simple little exercise in a minute that will be really useful for you as you're doing that. But as we're going forward with this, when you're actually in that alignment, you also then need to start taking steps towards what you want. So it isn't about just thinking it and then not doing it. Then it's about taking some action, taking steps towards what you want, so that you're then removing the things that you don't want, the things that are actually making you unhappy, and start removing those. So if I think about, for me, I was in a really successful corporate career, but I knew that I had something else. I knew that I had, I hate the phrase when you say I had a calling, but I knew that I had something to give to other people. I loved seeing people transform their lives, and I knew that actually, for me to fulfill my life purpose, it was really about going out on my own and delivering that. And that comes by sort of taking those steps towards doing that and exploring my passions. It's not something that I kind of went, right, I'm doing that and then do it the next day. You've got to start taking some consistent action towards that. Start doing something about it. And once you get clear on that, once you get clear on what it is then that you do want, then you keep focusing on that. Keep it in your view, so you're focusing on that, and it will keep showing up for you. It will keep showing you that you're on the right path, because you'll get that icky feeling or strange feeling when you are suddenly going off the path. And you'll know it then. So whilst you're not always sure that you are on the right path, you'll surely know when you're not on that right path. And that's the reminder for you of what you're working towards. So this is what I want you to do. So first of all, I want you to be asking yourselves these questions. And we'll come on to the questions, Florentina, that you can then take on as well for you to use with some of your clients too. So the first ones though is just what makes you happy. And if you can't think of that, if that's a real struggle for you to think about, it's not so easy, then think about what makes you unhappy first. And then do the opposite. Because sometimes people actually find the things that they don't want is easier to discover first of all. So what is making you unhappy? and make a note of those, and then do the opposite. Well, if that's making you unhappy, what is it that's going to make you happy? You know, what do you love doing? What comes easily to you? You know, are there some hobbies or other elements of your life that you love doing? You know, maybe it's baking cakes, or whether it's travelling. You know, make a note of the things that really bring joy to your life. And then think, if your life were perfect right now, what would that look like? What kind of job would you have? You know, where would you be living? What would you be doing? And then that sets off this little trigger in your unconscious mind. And it will help you get there by doing that. So let's stop this whole, you know, that you don't really know what you want, or, you know, stop settling for, I don't know, I'm not bothered. Stop settling, full stop. So I want you to do an exercise. So this is the exercise for you, Florentina. Have a go at this. And this is a really great one to get you thinking. And it will be a great one for your clients that you've got. So I want you to actually, so I've got a statement that what I want you to do is fill in the blanks and do this 15 times. So the statement is, when my life is great, I am. And then you put a verb in there. So, you know, something that you're going to do with it, you know, with it. And write that 15 times. So for instance, for me, I'll just give you a couple of examples. My life is great when I'm delivering transformational programs to women. My life is great when I'm helping people break through their limitations. You know, my life is great when I'm running NLP training programs, when I'm speaking to groups, when I'm traveling the world, you know, when I'm spending time with my family. So start the sentence, when my life is great, I am, and what is it that you're doing? And write that down 15 times. So write 15 different examples there. So I gave you some examples of mine. And then what you're going to do, you're going to pick your top 5 passions out of that and turn it into one sentence. Yeah, write it down. Write it down later. That will be perfect. So once you know what your passions are and how your life will look like when you are you know, you're living it, you can then start creating an action plan to turn your dreams into reality, to actually start doing the things that you really love doing it. And then you can start taking action. You know, we often, as we're doing this sort of exercise, we often start worrying about the money side. You know, so if you were doing that, would you be afford to live? You know, making a living out of it. So sometimes we actually think if we're doing something we love, it's going to be something that we're not going to be able to make a living out of it. And it's, you know, it's the complete opposite. When you are in tune with something that you love, those types of things just come easily and effortlessly. It's when we're working against it that it doesn't come so easily. You know, it can be hard at first when we are thinking about, you know, maybe we're thinking that we've got to give up our current job. And I'm not telling you to do that. I'm not suddenly saying, right, okay, you're going to follow your passion and you're going to give up your job and get yourself into debt. No, it isn't about that. You know, it's not about, you know, suddenly starting to worry about it, but it is about taking action towards doing the things that you love. So what are the small things that you can do start off with? Because the more we act, the more we can get clear on those things. So don't overthink it. You know, will this work out? Should I try this? Should I try that? You know, what if I don't like it? You know, what if I can't make any money out of it? Just go back to your list of doing the things that you absolutely love to do. Just go back to that list. You know, what things can you do right now? So if you are, you know, thinking that you love reading, that you know, write down all the things that you can do with books. You know, whether you are a writer, a publisher, a teacher, whatever it is, and then you have to start doing something. If you want to be an author, if you've got these big dreams of being an author, for instance, you've got to start off by doing some writing, because actually you might start doing it and then find that you don't actually even like the writing. You might actually find that. So you've got to start doing something of it first of all. My clients partially had made this episode, thank you for it, but for them being in a relationship is not 100% ownership. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. It's a two thing. Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying there. Okay, so I want you to think about there, what is it, something that, so the results are not depending just on them. For your life purpose, Florentini, it's got to be about you. It's got to be about that one person. So you almost need to get them both to do it for themselves. And then, so there's an exercise that I do on the my master practitioner, my NLP master practitioner course. And that is then about making sure if you are in a couple, for instance, that your values are both aligned. Because actually, if you're working with them as a couple, then they've each got to do it individually first, and then you work to align the values together. Does that make sense to you? Because they can only control everything that's in their control. So you would have to do it that way. You would have to do. So I'm getting confused. So you're not doing it as a couple. These are single women that are talking about their life purpose for both their relationships and their career. But are they then misaligned? Carry on. Tell me whether it is. Maybe we can help each other offline with that if you want some help, Florentina. So going back to your own life purpose, you've got to start doing something yourself first. So it's not just all about, that's what I think it is. Do something to actually go towards it. So for me, I love NLP, I love coaching, and I love seeing transformation in people's lives. And that only came from me actually taking consistent action in those areas. And, you can do this. You can actually do this. You have to believe, trust and act. Also, I want you to be okay with having multiple passions. Rather than just finding that one thing. Again, because of maybe how we're taught growing up, you think, right, okay, it's about being a doctor or it's a dentist or, whatever it is. And we're kind of almost pushed into that we've got to have just one thing. Now, I completely believe that just limits our greatness. I believe that we've all got masses of potential already inside of us that is just waiting to be pulled out. So for me, I'm a female success coach. I'm an NLP trainer. I'm a speaker. I host masterminds. I'm a mentor. I'm now an author and I'm soon to be on television. And each thing that I do brings me joy. Everything that I do is aligned with my purpose and they are my passion to do it. So I don't do things that I don't want to do anymore. All of those are in line with my own. Hi Flynn, nice to see you. Hi Julie, it's good to see you here. So I want you to let go of thinking that there's only one purpose for you, and embrace the idea that actually our purpose in life is to live our life fully by putting ourselves into life. We jump in and we do new things. Step out of our comfort zone, stop resisting that unknown and really engage in the here and now. So follow your passion, whatever it is that you're passionate about. Follow your dreams, your passions, and take that daily action to live that passion. So for me, my journey into finding my true purpose, it came by attending the NLP practitioner course, which was 8 years ago now. And, you know, now I'm a trainer and master coach myself. Now, bit of, you know, I'll be completely upfront with you now that, you know, for me, I've got to tell you, it was so powerful for me. It was life-changing for me doing that course. And so I'm going to tell you about my next NLP practitioner program that starts on the 26th of April. You know, because I would love to see you there in person. It's a live in-person 7-day event. And I'm actually offering £200 off at the moment, but you've got to book now. You've got to book, you know, to get the discount off. And, you know, NLP is just a fabulous subject. So I'm also running, in the next couple of weeks, I'm also going to run an online NLP diploma. You know, maybe you're not quite ready to go straight onto the practitioner program yet. You want to do a taster of it, or you know, maybe you're an aspiring coach and you want to kind of just test out what this NLP stuff is before you commit to it. Because, you know, if you want to boost your confidence, or you know, set your goals, or you know, get rid of those limiting beliefs that you've got, NLP is such a powerful subject. So look out for, I'll tell you all about it, Julie, you know, details will be coming over the next couple of weeks, but it's an online diploma, and so at the end of it you get a certificate for doing it, you know. And it's a brilliant taster into the world of NLP. It's a really powerful technique. So look out for that coming soon. Like I said, I'll be sending out the details in the next week or so. So I hope that that's given you a little taster now of kind of the benefits of doing things in line with you, in, you know, doing things that make your heart sing. Because I know for me that everything suddenly becomes easier when you start doing that. And I'd love you to be able to take that on board too. Trying to stop being negative. Oh, Lolly, where are you being negative? You know, let's have a go at your positive and reframe your language on that. And see if you can actually start doing it. Do the exercise that I've just done and actually see if you could just write it down. The more and more you can actually start writing down the things that for your life being great, you know, what does your life look, you know, visualize it. What does it look like when it looks great? What does that mean to you? And then can you start doing, you know, I know you love baking. Can you do more of that? Start doing that. So I want you to all have a fantastic day. I hope it stops raining for you. And, you know, I'll catch you again next week. See you later. Bye.